What do all electric Lexuses and my high school girlfriend have in common? Well, neither one exists. Granted, said on both counts. However, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I saw this article on electric.co. One of their readers, let me get his name right, Josh Kasky, submitted a picture that he took of this flyer that he's got from his, local Lexus dealership, and here it is, and it reads, "Trade in your Tesla. You've had your fun. Now it's time for zero compromise." And at first I was like, oh, Toyota, I might have a finger sticking out of somewhere here out of my fist. But then I was like, oh, interesting. Well, listen, they are not stupid. I know they're not seeing the future, obviously, and Toyota, overall Toyota brand is not seeing the future. But let's just dive into it. Maybe they're onto something, right? And I know you're probably waving the same fist with the same finger, and they're at me right now. But hear me out here, okay? First of all, I think we all know that the best way to get somebody to buy an electric car is to put them in an electric car and let them drive it, right? I remember my first, sitting in my very first electric car. It was a Tesla Model S, a prototype. It wasn't even moving. And I fell in love so hard. I became one of the first Tesla Model S owners, one of the few 2012 Tesla Model S. I remember falling in love with it more than I remember falling in love with my high school girlfriend. So that's how I've seen other people fall in love and buy electric cars. But maybe, just maybe, for some people, going back to a gas car, maybe what it takes is to drive an electric car and then maybe have their circumstances change, right? Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I run one of the biggest Tesla Model S owners groups on Facebook, because I started back in 2012, and I approve all the posts, and I see pretty often more and more now people posting saying, hey, listen, I had a great run, but I am getting rid of my Tesla and I'm moving on. And a lot of times they would say the name of a gas car, right? And I mean, obviously at first I was like, well, these guys are crazy, they don't get it or whatever. But then I thought, well, circumstances change. Like, with me, for example, exhibit number one is also me, because I was a huge Tesla fan. I've had 3 Teslas over 6 years, but then I realized that I do not want to sit at superchargers for 45 minutes, especially when I'm driving from San Francisco to LA. And the difference is I'm getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning versus 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Just to avoid the traffic. But 4 o'clock, it's up there, right? So I've decided that I'm gonna just make a step back and get myself a plug-in hybrid right here, right? And I bought myself a Volt. And even though as I drive around here in Sacramento, I don't use any gas unless I have to go on a longer trip, I end up spending maybe $20 a month on gas. But I did make a step back, and my circumstances also changed, because now I do this for a living and I don't make this big Silicon Valley salary anymore, so I can't just throw $100,000 on a Tesla anymore. And I realized that I mean, Lexus is onto something, at least that dealership. In at the same time, there are other people that you guys know that are in the same situation, and you've seen them on my channel. I'm going to give you a couple of video evidence here. Before that, of course, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out their all-electric SUV coming to the US and Europe next year. Don't forget to make your reservation absolutely free. Go to the description of this video to reserve your Byton today. And by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. Use E4Electric discount code on all purchases of $100 or more. All right, so let's talk about a couple of people that you might know. First, it's Roger Atkins. He's an electric car expert. He's really big on in Europe and on LinkedIn. Huge following. He's been on the show a few times, and him and I, last time we talked, kind of had a literally dirty, no pun intended, no, I guess pun intended, confessions that we exchanged. And just like all dirty confessions, we did it in the right place, in bed.
Hey, Roger. Well, I have a confession to make. I've been blogging and talking about electric cars for many years now, and I don't really drive a pure electric car right now. I have a plug-in hybrid.
Man, I wish you'd told me this before. What'd you leave it to now for? I got to tell you something as well, Alex.
What is it?
Alex, I've got a PHEV.
Wow. I wish you would have told me that earlier.
Oh, good times in LA. But you know, as you can see, he's advocating for electric cars all over the place. You know, he's hosting panels, he's meeting with the leaders of electric car community. He's done more for electric car community than most of the people out there, and yet he's got, as he said, he's got PHEV. And, you know, he's got his own reasons, and you can watch the entire video on my channel. But here's another influencer, and he's also one of the contributors to this channel, Rich Rebuilds, right? A big advocate for Tesla and electric cars, and built his entire, makes a living now on also on his YouTube channel. But nevertheless, we were just taping our latest segment, and you know, he admitted that now that Tesla turned off the supercharging I took it away from him. He's considering a new car, and he might be buying a gas car. And so was his reasoning.
I mean, everyone has a budget. You know, my budget is, you know, somewhere in the, let's just say the mid to upper 30s or 40s or so, right? So if I want to buy a vehicle, to tell you the truth, it's not easy to find a car in that range that that has the range, right? It's almost impossible, you know.
Yeah.
The only real contender there is a Model 3, and in my price range, you're just getting in to a Model 3, kind of.
All right, so, and by the way, you can see this full segment in about a week or so. He's one of the contributors to this channel, so if you haven't subscribed, this would be a perfect time. If you want to see him on this channel regularly, click on the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, so by the way, I'm not really advocating for Toyota here, okay, or for Lexus. Toyota has been known for being very much behind, if at all, in this whole electrification thing. They've been running commercials like this and ads like this, where they're kind of lying about what hybrids are. They're calling themselves charging hybrids, which is not how this technology works, though it is very easy to trick people who don't know any better. So definitely not a big fan of that. But in this case, I think Lexus might just be onto something, right? Like, there might be right now a bunch of people, you know, like myself, with changed circumstances, maybe smaller budgets, that are kind of, you know, have to make a step back. It's unfortunate. Now, I know I will be back to all electric cars, probably even this fall. We'll see how things go with Biden, but I'm also thinking about Jaguar. We'll see. I'll make a different video about that. Now, I do have to say that Toyota did just create a partnership with Panasonic, the current provider for the American Tesla cells. But as you know, that relationship is very rocky. Panasonic is no longer a partner at the New York Gigafactory. They're not at all partner in the Shanghai factory in China. It's CATL and LG Cam. So maybe there's something going on. But as you guys know, I'm definitely not big on Toyota. So let me know if you're one of those possible victims of this, and maybe you're deciding to make a step back. If so, let me know your circumstances. I'm looking forward to your responses. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.